And okay, uh, yun, yung topic ano, the hottest topic in the world. Kung pag-usapan natin kasi we have a perspective of this that's unique to us. And essentially, tayo lang natitira from our generation, di ba? Oh, tayo lang. Sino pa natira? Halos wala na. And then maraming pent up emotions about this issue, about this guy. Sige, tell me how to share this. I want to share this with Facebook. Okay, so I'll start with you. All right, we can start. I'll just figure this out. Season one, we're done with season one. Yeah, I'm game. Okay. Hi. One. Rach, are you dressed? Dressed. My goodness. Good afternoon and welcome to the very last episode. Well, the final episode of season one of the Manila podcast. The ECQ was that. I think that we have talked about all the issues pertinent to the ECQ and everything. We went through all the issues regarding health, boosting our health, entertainment, even faith, right? We talked about religion during Holy Week, but we're about to transition to the GCQ and we end ECQ in May 31. So the next time we tape or we record, that should be June 5 in 2 weeks. And by then we should find out exactly what changes have been done vis-a-vis the transition from ECQ to GCQ. And we're all crossing our fingers because a lot depends on the behavior of people over the next 2 weeks and what happens with transmission, the rate of infection. And the DOH can't even tell what the first wave is, or the second wave, or the third wave, new wave. Ah, wow. Hey. Hello, DOH. And I was surprised. I was surprised it's Friday. Alam mo, kahit nasa bahay na tayo, parang ang daming nangyayari sa mundo. And even us, right? We've been so busy. And I was just surprised when someone greeted me, TGIF, happy weekend. They said, this feels like a 63-day weekend. But, it is weekend still. So happy weekend, TGI Fridays to all the people watching us live. And for all of you who will be listening later on when we turn this into a podcast. So there's a very hot topic. And do you want to start with that? The very, very hot topic. No, no, no. Unfortunately, no. It's the latest situation, the latest controversy to hit the blogging industry. Did you read the link? Did you read the link I sent you earlier? Uh, we for the people listening who are in the food community, whether you're a supplier, a restaurant operator, a home-based food business entrepreneur or us, media, I think we all know who we're talking about. So there's no need to mention his name. It's a guy, obviously. So there's no need to mention his name. But we have to talk about what's happening because it really is pertinent and important to our industry, especially now. Here's the core issue. The core issue is this. Let's call him something generic, the influencer, because you know how much I hate that term. So this influencer supposedly, allegedly, okay, but there are dozens of screen caps, maybe more, that say otherwise, has been asking for, to put it very simply, has been asking for collaborations with restaurants, home-based food businesses, in return for publicity, okay, online publicity. But the way it's being done or the way it's being presented is there are a lot of inconsistencies, and some people would call it abuse as far as what's being asked for. Like, for example, the clearest example is this. There's this new purveyor, young chef, okay? One product, parang one pound, one product. Ginagawa lang niya cheesy baked spaghetti. It's 2-week old business. Then the influencer comes in, and then this is like documented, screen caps and all. He's asking for samples. Normally, di pa tayo bibigyan ng samples? Thanks, Anton, try this. If you like it, write about it. If you don't, then it's okay. Then we give constructive criticism as needed. So this young chef, let's call him the little chef, okay? The little chef was talking to the influencer, was chatting. Then out of the blue, the influencer says, can you give me six trays, small, and then one or two medium, which is a lot. Which is a lot. Which is a lot. And you're young, you're starting, you don't even have capital yet. You're just figuring out the ropes of the business. Normally, he would give out one trade for no, this is 2 weeks ago. 2 weeks ago. Less than 2 weeks ago. Kaya nga yun yung naging issue. Why are you asking for so much? So, tinanong ni Little Chef kay influencer, sabi ni influencer, no, I'm going to give them to the guards in the condo or something, or to the street kids or something like that. But it turns out he was actually giving them to his other fellow influencers or something to that effect, and they were comparing notes. And then this is the punchline. Si influencer and someone in their group started screen capping this, siguro napuno na or whatever. And he hardly even tasted the spaghetti. Then he was saying, ayoko, hindi ako mahilig dyan, may mga hotdog, ganun. I don't know, he just gave them away. He asked for so many samples, and he hardly tasted them. He even was caught saying that I don't really like spaghetti. But on his IG, he says, "Oh no, this is so good. This is so nice." And in fairness, it's really good pictures, but it just puts into question the integrity of of the influencer, because if you haven't tasted it, number one, how can you give a good positive view? It's not fair to your readers. It's not fair to the person, right? Number two, why are you asking for so many samples for a new business owner, right? Who doesn't even have enough capital, who's not successful, doesn't have restaurants operating out of his house, as so many are during this ECQ. And number three, why are you asking for so many samples, right? We're here to help. We're not here to take advantage. But that seems to be the takeaway here. It left a bad taste in the mouth of so many people that, wait, why are you doing all of these things? And number four, to top it all off, he was step by step telling the story of how he managed to get more samples out of this guy and many others before him, apparently. There's even a screen cap that says, blogger tip, tell them it's your birthday. So forget it. I don't know, get a cake, whatever. Okay. And there's even another blogger tip. Jesus Christ. The blogger tip says you go to the brand on stories, then say, I miss you. Then you put some sort of photo from the past. And of course, the social media manager there, who's probably an intern, will say, oh, yeah, we miss you too. Can we send you food? Oh, yeah, send me more. That's not help. That's, yeah, maraming beses. Maraming beses. So, it's really, it puts, it smears the industry as a whole because people will jump to the conclusion na, eh, ganyan ka talaga kayo. Di ba, Anton, when we were young, oh my God, when we were starting, you were young and life was so much simpler then. People would say, kayo mga vloggers, ay gutom kayo, ganyan, nililog na. But then again, Anton, and I'm telling this to everyone, I've never asked for a fucking thing in my life. Never. I've never gone to any cook, baker, restaurant. I've never asked for anything. Mm, nothing. It's been 15 years. Sure, if they give me something, I'll be happy to critique, right? But to ask for something, hindi ko pa alam mo, hindi ko talaga maalala. I've been, the past 3 days, I've been racking my mind. Have I asked for something? Wala talaga eh. Wala. Totoo yun. And here's the thing. The restaurants have not had any significant revenue for 2 months now. 2 months in 1 week, no? Since March 15th. And they've been bleeding. And you're not just bleeding in terms of lost sales. You're bleeding because you're still paying salaries of so many employees, right? Here's the hard data. There are now around 20,000 restaurants in Metro Manila alone. 20,000. Sabihin mo na, on a conservative basis, there are 10 people, front house, cooks, busboys, messengers, delivery people working for you. That's 200,000 people, and that's 200,000 families affected, right? And here's the really scary part. A lot of the businesses right now, if we can't see any clarity moving forward, are considering closing. And that's why we're making representations via the Restaurant Owners Association Philippines, with government to see what kind of equity, or whatever assistance we can get for all of them. But that's it. We're talking about 200,000 families right now in a very critical state, not to mention 20,000 businesses. And if you do the math, it becomes very exponential. So this is a very serious problem. And this is the worst time of all to start taking advantage of these restaurants. Hindi to na parang sila rich o si Mr. Burns na limpak-limpak yung pera. They're not SM, they're not Ayala, they're not the Villar family, right? They have limited reserves of cash. If you know the restaurant business, margins are thin, right? Even for the most expensive restaurants. Costs are high, food costs are high. So all of these come up. And buti nga, the restaurants are lucky that the malls, especially the malls, have not been charging rent, no, until they open fully. Until you open, lumalabas. The minute you open, bam, the meter starts ticking, right? Now the discussions are limited to, if we open now for delivery and takeout, what percentage of the rent will have to pay? So it's very minimal because there's hardly any air conditioning. They've negotiated for the common use and service areas to be really lowered. So it's really low now. But the minute you open and there's foot traffic, magtataas. So that's the it's a catch 22 situation. It's damned if you, damned if you don't. Because if you open naman, Anton Rich, you're gonna open at what, 50% capacity at the most for the next 3 months, if ever you're allowed to open. So, what hindi, not at all. Kasi ang isipin mo dapat ang delivery ngayon, a very optimistic combination of delivery and takeout would only put you at what, 20, 25%. So, ang liit nun. You're paying the same people. And ultimately, the safeguard is, ultimately the priority is the people, right? We want to help sustain the restaurants, not really as a business, although that's first and foremost. But ultimately, you have to look beyond that. And who gets affected here? Like I said, it's 200,000 families. That's why we want to keep the restaurant business alive, help them survive, and after all this, make them prosper. That's why this influencer, going back to him, that's why napikon lahat ng tao eh. That's why napikon lahat ng tao. Kasi sabi, kung kailan pa tayo naghihingalo, bakit ginagawa mo yan? And later on, I'll explain why he was supposed to do doing this. But this is for the people listening, especially the younger ones. Na, ang favorite word nila, Anton, Rich, collab for collaborate. No? And collab in the lexicon here simply means, can I get free food so I can share it in my Instagram feed with 40 people following me, or my YouTube channel with 100 people? That doesn't make sense. Doesn't make sense. You're just asking for free food. Ang tawag dyan, hindi man ayuda, Anton eh. Limos. Limos yan. So, don't do that. Don't do that. Right? And we've always had a very symbiotic relationship tayo, di ba? With this didn't exist a long time ago, but 15 years ago when we were starting. But over the past decade and a half, the restaurant industry, the food industry, has become codependent to a very large extent with media, because it's become a social media generation. And where do you get your updates? Hindi naman sa word of mouth. Your word of mouth now is via YouTube, your vlog, your blog, your Instagram story, and your Facebook post. That's where the Facebook. That's why we become essential to them. But being essential doesn't mean you have to abuse our friends, and that's why we became friends with them. Like I said, tulungan tayo, especially now. So influencers who are planning to go on collabs, please don't. Right? If you can afford to pay for them, if you cannot afford to, don't. Then maybe if you still want content for your Instagram stories, then post you ask permission from us. We'll be happy to share with you if you really sincerely want to help. Come on, we'll send you pictures, whatever it needs, information if you want to just do that. But don't abuse people now. Every single centavo counts in the food industry now. Now is not the time for you to keep on asking for free stuff. It's really not the time. What do you think about all this? Yeah, it's like 56%. Yeah, 56% of the SMEs are restaurants and food. Almost 60. Oh, uh, mm, mm. Yun nga eh. But ito I'll just give you two for the people listening, and I think most of us are in our community anyway. There are two very tough ladies who have been documenting the whole sordid. I call it the whole sordid story, and I'm actually comparing it to this really popular Netflix documentary called The Tiger King, because it's so absurd, right? And it's so silly and it's so ridiculous, but at the same time, it's an insult to what we're doing. So go to their settings are set in public. So one is Rowena Wendy Limley. She's got the story there. Another one is Marge Sia, Marjsia, and you can find out everything there. And here's the surprising thing, Anton. This has been happening for years, years. Yung kay influencer, years, and and he's been well. I always say that numbers don't always tell the story, right? People are blinded, and especially in the world of public relations, a lot of them are young. Sino ba yung gagawin mong galamay para makontak yung mga so-called influencers? They're young, fresh college grads who don't even know the difference between sinigang and nilaga sometimes, you know? So they don't know food. They just know numbers, but not really analytics. But more than the numbers, for every PR person listening, young or old, especially in our industry, what matters most? Numbers are cold statistics. You got to look at integrity, character, reputation, track record. That's what you look for. You just don't look for someone because they have 50,000 followers, supposedly. But we all know, ladies and gentlemen, you can buy followers on Instagram. Walang ibig sabihin yan. Numbers are cold, right? So, but that's it. Why did the influencer get so much traction? Kasi nga, may 50,000 followers. So, mm, mm, yeah, that's true. But they don't. But they don't. They don't. They just rely on numbers. And that's why maybe one of these days we should have us in season two. Let's invite some PR people, especially young ones, and give them a webinar. Let's give them a stern talking to. Hindi lang numero yan. Kayo kasi tamad kayo eh. Pare, alam mo yung bang yung mga, start to mga mailing list nila. Tayo pa lang yung nandun sa mailing list eh. Tapos lumaki na lumaki. What would the PR people do? Here's what they do. They would look at our group, the KTG, our friends, say, oh, nagpunta sila Spanky, nagpunta sila Richie. O, tignan natin. Sino-sino yung nagpunta doon? That's how they build the lists, right? And sometimes wala nang vlog, sometimes wala nang vlog, sometimes inactive na, sometimes patay na yung gumagawa. Ini-invite pa rin nila, right? So, they just have to be very cognizant of what's happening in the industry and take the time to steep themselves and talk to the people who can really help their brands. Kasi, alam nyo, kahit magbigay lang kayo ng isang loot bag na may samples, may cost yan eh. Di ba? And if I were, and this was my job before, I was in brand management, product management, everything has to have a corresponding revenue attached to it. Eh kung wala naman, bye, wala rin. Di ba? But that's it. That's the root of all evil here. People just look at statistics. They don't look at the background anymore. They don't even look at the quality of the writing, right? They it should, but we should, you know, this situation, this controversy had to happen for that to resolve. Kasi kung hindi nangyari to, hindi mapapansin ng mga boss. Kasabihin ng mga boss, oh, iniimbita ba natin dati yung si influencer na yan? Oh, ba't iniimbita? Ganyan pala yan. Oh. Eh ngayon lumalabas lahat, even the big brands, even the biggest brands in the Philippines were conned. Even the most famous chefs in the Philippines were conned for years. So what should we do now? So hopefully, yeah, go ahead. No one will agree for us to deregulate it. We've been talking about it for like a decade, yeah. Yeah, I think that's what you do. It's imperative, and it's going to be our duty, our noble obligation. Dahil tayo na yung mga tito dito, to be the ones to have people know the right things to do. And there's nothing to understand. Parang hindi naman sila mahirap na tao eh. They're not. They have nice cars. They live in nice condos. They have their own businesses. So what's the motivation here? So, they're not. Alam mo, I agree with you. It's their way to help. Nakakatulong naman eh. But somewhere along the way, it got twisted. It really got twisted. And there were practices that started getting, well, that started getting repeated again and again. But are they good practices? No. Are they decent practices? Some would say not even. And I now Instagrammers, now influencers, we've seen them come and go. But I've never really seen this kind of disreputable way of creating content. Because people say, I'm creating content, I'm helping you, but there's a better way to do it. There's a better way to do it. You don't have to get paid for everything. We were never paid at the start, Anton. We were never paid. We started this, we were paying for our own meals. Later on, when the relationship somehow became symbiotic between restaurants and especially us online media, sure, we can enjoy the best meals, but we always were there to do two things. One, to talk about them honestly. That's key, honestly, right? And number two, provide constructive criticism as needed. We were never pimping them out because that's against what we believe in, right? We're here to propagate good things. We can't sell something we don't believe in. But somewhere along the way, that's what people have been started doing. Basta mabigay sila ng libreng pagkain, I say this is the best damn thing I've had in my life without even having tasted it. So where's the integrity in that? So that's what we have to look moving forward. Um, yeah, I'll give you an update. The DTI would seem that, and I think you read in the news. It was in the major. It was inquired yesterday. The DTI is actually looking very seriously. Come not next week, but when the regular GCQ comes in, right? And the regular GCQ more or less will take us to a normal level of life, almost like we had before March 15th. But they are observing two things. One, they're observing obviously the number of cases happening. And I keep on saying this. We're not losing the battle necessarily. We're not. People are so pessimistic and fatalistic about this. But what they don't really understand is the data. Nakikita lang nila, oh my God, we're at 216 a day. That's where we are. The past 5 weeks, our average COVID cases are at 216, more or less. And people are saying, but hindi nagpapalit? Actually, bumaba na yan. Hindi siya bumaba na nag-flat. It's not flattening the curve yet, but it has plateaued. and it has plateaued especially, and it has really flattened the curve in the provinces, right? Almost 30 provinces are in GCQ because wala silang kaso. The past few weeks, the cases in the highly, highly dense areas. Sorry to say, squatter areas. Dun lumalabas. So, hindi totoo yung, Anton, di ba the past week, no Sunday, people are saying, oh my God, the mall's opened. It's the second wave, third wave, right? Oh my God, mamamatay na tayo lahat. Dude, it's not gonna happen. My friends in SM, the restaurant operators are based in SM, send me pictures every day about how many people there are in SM. There are hardly any people there. Ang iniisip ko sila mga tao unfairly, yung Pilipino, hindi naman tanga yung Pilipino eh. Kasi akala nila, and I even heard this very insulting comment na, yung mga tao, nagmamall bigla kasi kailangan ng aircon. No, fuck that shit, man. We're not that, that's the most insulting thing I've heard. Na kaya daw, nagmamall yung mga tao ngayon dahil magpapalamig. Punyeta, kahit mainit, mas mahirap yung ospital at mamatay ka. Di ba? But that's very insulting. The malls are open in the same way the supermarkets. So remember the supermarkets have always been open. Saan ba yung supermarkets ng SM, Robinsons? Nasa mall. Rustans, nasa Rockwell, nasa mall. Ang ginawa lang ng mall essentially now, you put up more stores like the supermarkets before, but you're still observing all protocols. Temperature, social distancing, all of these things. So to say otherwise is fake news and an exaggeration and really an insult. But yeah, so that's another challenge to us. When will people start going out, right? So people start going. Ang gusto ng DTI, wala pa silang set. No, they just say when the GCQ, when we all move to GCQ, we will consider dining in the mall. When is that? I don't know when that is, because we're just going to be in the modified GCQ. And for all intents and purposes, what's the modified GCQ? Some people can go back to work, maybe 50% of the workforce. There'll be public utility vehicles, but the restaurants will still be closed until such time that we have a real decrease in the number of cases and that we have all the protocols in place for the restaurants to open. But here's what I said the other day. Sabi ko, where do you feel more safe? If you go to a supermarket, as I've been going to the past months, 2 months, or go to a bank. Sometimes I spent 45 minutes inside the bank or outside the bank. I went to BPI, 1 hour ako nakapila sa labas in the sun. So, saan ba mas safe? Mas safe ba sa restaurant? Or mas safe sa BPI nakapila ka? Or mas safe na marami kang kasama sa supermarket? I'd say the danger level is the same. Or the safety level is the same. Half full or half empty, depending on how you look at the glass. So, later on, by August 24, the saying pwede na mag face-to-face class for some schools, then it makes sense that maybe by August 24, which is a Monday, baka pwede na ibang restaurants. Depende. Depende talaga. But I will not make predictions. I'll just be optimistic. Ikaw, anong tingin mo? Ikaw, tatanong kita, lalabas ka ba? Like, if you are, because you're parents, I'm not a parent. If you are allowed to go to dine into a restaurant by August 24, will you dine into a restaurant? Yeah, yeah. Or kung may symptoms ka, oh. That's true. Yeah. So it's been happening the past 2 days. So may may nabasa nga akong term kanina. Ito kasi, there are several, so the Resto PH, as we're calling it now, is the Restaurant Owners Association of the Philippines. That never really existed before, but now we have a common enemy and a common goal. The common enemy is COVID. The common goal is really to make the restaurant survive. We're very much in danger. So everyone is putting together from big to small, and the key people now who are part of this, who are volunteering, is are Eric Teng, who from Cocina Perubia, Genki Sushi, all of these restaurants. Raymond Magdaluyo, Wolfgang, Ed Bugia, Corinne Castaneda from House of Wagyu, Brian Chu, and many others. George from Okada, George Pua. So we're all working together. We're looking at all the options. Okay? And ang napapag-uusapan for any restaurant owners or small business owner who's starting in the food industry, especially for those who've just started, because this is key for you for your survival. We have a very active and vibrant Viber group with all the information there. Just look for Resto PH. Hanapin niyo lang. You can join anytime. And we talk about everything there. COVID testing for your employees, all the security protocols, DTI, BIR, mall rentals, how to negotiate with malls. Ang magandang nangyayari, Rach, yung mga kuya, yung mga bigger chains are helping out the babies, the younger ones, the startups who just started literally a few months ago or even before, who were about to start until COVID hit. So it's one big organization, and we now have enough clarity and we now have enough momentum to be able to talk to government on behalf of the restaurant industry. And right now, obviously, we're looking at takeouts and deliveries, how to make this smoother for everyone. We're looking at sourcing, how to share expenses for transporting even vegetables to the provinces to here to help the farmers, and deliveries as well. But ultimately, the goal is to open again. That's the ultimate goal. And when that will be is hopefully soon. But whenever that will be, we would like to assure the public that we will only open when we are 120, 150, 200% sure that it's going to be safe for you. And that's, yeah, right. So keep us posted. So we're there, Resto PH on Viber. You're very welcome to join all restaurant owners. Marami na kami nandun, pero marami pa kaming kaibigan na alam namin matutulungan namin doon. Sabay-sabay tayo dito. Resto PH. Oh my God, I've always been iba na yung naisip ko dyan, okay? So don't tell me things like that. I'm very serious about what I'm saying. You put evil thoughts in my head. Okay? But I think we just have to. Here's the surprise. And last night, si influencer, alam mo naman kung sino siya, no? Without mentioning his name. It's the influencer, the talk of the town, the man of the hour. His brother is a very good friend of ours, right? Very well respected in the industry. You know what I'm talking about, right? Brother ni influencer. So si brother, tumawag sa akin kahapon. Spanks, nag-text. Spanks, can I give you a call? When I got the text, sabi ko, yeah, I'm sure this will be about the influencer. So, he called me. Si brother called me. And said, "Oh, kamusta na si influencer? Nabubog siya. Nakukuyog dito sa social media." Then I said, Spanks, what should we do? Sabi ni brother. Sabi ko, then I gave him some pieces of advice. And he said, maybe it would help if you can tell this to him directly. So, this morning, influencer called me. Yeah. Oh, so may story. Ito yung punchline doon. So influencer called me. And we're not close. We were never close, and I told him that. And the reason we were never close is because, ilang ako eh, because I've heard these stories, and I we don't have any bad blood. I never had a direct bad experience with him. So yes, I was willing to talk, and I told him this. And he was asking me, so what should I do? What advice should I do? Sabi ko, number one, shut up first. Don't say anything. Don't post anything on social media. Keep your account quiet, but at the same time, don't delete anything. Just let it stay there. Number two, you read when you are ready. I don't think you're ready now. When you're ready, read all the posts under Rowena, under the comments, under Rowena's, under Marge Diaz, under mine. Look at everything there. And read everything, reflect on everything, and think of what the fuck did you do wrong? And most of all, I told them, influencer, ganito gawin mo. Do not be defensive. Right? Sabi ko kasi, and I didn't mince words, Anton, you know me, I'm very honest. I said, ikaw kasi, ang problema sa'yo, maraming nayayabangan sa'yo. Maraming nayayabangan sa'yo. And maybe people were just not saying anything because it's so much a Filipino character for us to just, if we can avoid confrontation, we avoid confrontation. But now, since the dam has been broken, the proverbial, everyone's now talking about it. Lahat ng issues, lahat ng past issues, lahat ng controversies, lumalabas ngayon. In Marge's post, there are 400 plus comments. Documented. So I said to influencer kanina, you read all of them, check, look back every single time kung mali ka. But don't do it in a defensive manner. Look at it with all humility. Break yourself down. Just break yourself down, tabula rasa, open book, and accept it. Kung mali ka, mali ka. Huwag ka maging defensive. Right? Then later on, and I said, don't say anything now. Don't say anything to inflame your friends or supporting you. Don't say anything to exacerbate the situation. Just keep quiet, reflect, and pray. Then maybe a week from now in June, once you've thought this over, come up with an official statement. I said, if you have to apologize, apologize. Apologize to everyone. So I've always believed that you don't kick a man when he's down. He's very much down. I'm not really very sympathetic to the cause, but I just have to be honest. He asked me for advice, I gave it. And that's my advice. Keep quiet for now. Read everything without being defensive. If you think you're guilty, then know why you're guilty, but accept it with all humility. Right? Hindi ko naman tinago na sinabing ano eh. Sabi ko, alam mo, maraming ano ka, maangas ka kasi. Di ba? Yung kilay mo, di ba? Tapos parang ganun ka tumingin, parang know-it-all ka palagi. So that's what people don't like. So it remains to be seen whether or not he will continue in the industry or not. But it's a small family for us. Eh. Like I said, bakit ko siya nakausap? Kasi his brother is a very good friend of mine. He's not. But the brother reaches out to me, and I say, yeah, to be fair, let's hear it. And I give my 2 cents worth. And that's my 2 cents worth. So will this come to any good resolution for him? I really don't know. I can predict as much as COVID, but it's really difficult. I hope this doesn't happen again. So sabi ko nga, alam mo, ang maganda nangyari dito, at least the people, and sabi ko sa kanya, ikaw, kung you can impart something, when you do come up with your apology or message or whatever you'll come up with to the public, I told you, to the public, to everyone that feels slighted by you, sabihin mo rin ganun. Huwag kayong ganito. Huwag yung gawin yung pagkakamali ko. That's the only silver lining I can see coming out of this. So people will not do that same thing, that collab shit, right? Take advantage of people, whether or not it's perceived or real. So let's see. It's a small world. It's a small community. I mean, we're all in this together. So sana nga lahat sana lahat survives. Even this. I hope he overcomes this. Tao rin siya. And, oh, that's true. That's true. And Anton, Rich, I told him, you can read my post about it. Anyone can go to my Facebook page right now. Yesterday, I wrote about it. I just added to what Marge and Rowan had to say. But I didn't mince words. And I said, the influencer, basahin mo yung sinabi ko sa'yo. Tungkol sa tulad yun. But at the same time, sana kung may kung may ikabubuti naman to, lahat na nangyari, sana nga magbago ka. Diba? At hindi lamang magbago ka kung lahat ng mga hindi mo natulungan na dapat tutulungan mo, lahat ng mga nagalit sa'yo, di humingi ka ng paumanhin. Ganun lang yan. Eh. It's not over, but this is all predicated on a person's humility and character. So that's what he has to show now. And I'm hoping he does because there's so much that has been revealed about the influencer, and it's pretty bad. It's pretty bad. Di ba? Revere, nangyayari. That's why, parang nagugulat ako Friday na. Ang dami pa rin nangyayari. We're busy with Resto PH. This issue has taken up a lot of our mental time the past few days. And look, we've been talking for almost an hour. But so much is happening. So much is happening. We're in the middle of the ECQ. What more is the GCQ? Diba? So, ang pinagdadasal ko na lang, that, a lot of this, I just want life to get better and back to normal. Because I'm really bored. I want to go out, right? Oo, ako parang sabi ko kasi sobrang naging madasali na taong yan sa na madasali talaga ako, alam mo naman yan, natisyon ba talaga ako eh. Pero more so than anything, no, kasi pinagdadasal ko kayong lahat, kahit si kahit si influencer. Totoo yan. And well, maybe since we're live now, look, people don't really trust the DOH totals now. But what nila yun? But ito lang, papakita ko na for the second straight day, pababa ng pababa yung